Hello, my name is Francis Fox. I have a degree from the University of Miami in political science. I'm a trained government remote viewer from a secret program that still hasn't been declassified. And I was put in it when I was born. I was actually bred for it. Can you believe that? Like from a movie. They chose my father and my mother, particularly because my mother, apparently, her family was well known through history for psychic abilities. I am vacillating between crying, being subdued, wanting to quit, uh, wanting to break my discipline and just go out to a shopping center, to a store, to a restaurant, because I don't see an end in sight having to do with the revelations about sex trafficking that will release me. Obviously, we're not going to release the entire world. Right now, I'm talking about me. I've done a lot for the world, talking about me now. And I want to get back to the fact that all of the news, all of it, if you get to the bottom line, has to do with sex. You would not have sex trafficking if people were not seeking orgasm. Oh, but you can't use that word. Why not? Why not? You can't talk about the stuff that's destroying the planet? The bad ETs are enemies that want to take us down because they want to possess the planet through zombie activity because they don't have physical vehicles. They need one, so they do it via zombies. They know more about us than we know about ourselves. This is totally ridiculous that you don't know anything about your spirit and you run around telling people, may the force be with you. You don't even know what you're talking about. The force is your astral body, your spirit, your emotional astral spirit. You don't know anything about it. You know that when people get angry and cranky and sarcastic, it's because they're very depressed. I am very depressed and I'm very angry and very sarcastic. And I'm also frightened out of my skull. This is crazy what's going on. But it's not crazy because we're going to get the stuff revealed. It's the stuff that's coming out in the revelations. Obviously, they're hiding something with the Epstein list. So, what if they're hiding the fact that the Vatican was involved and that the monarchy in Europe was involved? So what? So what that there are American politicians that were involved and people make no. So what? Get it out there. Just get it out there, lay it all out there. Eventually, those people are going to want to figure out why they did that. Because I have to tell you, everybody, bottom line, is good people. They're not in contact with it, or to be good people, um, you choose which side of the line you're going to be on, having to do with light and dark when you come into this incarnation. And the fact that you chose dark, which would be all those sex trafficking people, whatever, does not mean that you're bad. It means that you chose to play that out on the physical dimension. The physical dimension is the least important of all of them. Elon, hello, hello. Let this message get to Elon. You gonna go to Mars? We got to get things figured out here first. Except maybe you want to go to Mars because you understand we're not going to get it figured out here first. Okay, enough. 4 minutes and 41 seconds of complaining. I did the map. Let's go ahead and do that first. Um, Giving up is an option for me. Not there yet. This is the map for today. In the center, you have a spiraling down and an anchoring of rage. And it has to do with the political explosions today. And it has to do with wanting to take down Trump, having to do with issues with his own team. I could have told you that. But it's not going to work. First place, you see all those green lines? Those are frequencies, and they're great. It's the heart frequency. It used to be just under the United States. It's now going through the United States. Why? Why is the United States going to stay stable no matter what comes out? because Trump is requiring that all the bad stuff be revealed. That's why he does his weekly meetings, and that's why he has people that have to give reports, and they're showing all of the bad stuff. Unfortunately, the bad stuff is going to include people that are close to him, but that too will get figured out, and that too will pass. And so, what I want to remind all of you is this: if you are aligned with the truth and you are living the truth as you know it, you may not know everything. You're going to be supported by the planet because we're in a cycle where only the truth is going to get supported. So when I look at what's going on and I think, how can this man possibly make it, Trump? Because he has the truth in his hand. He had it before. He didn't have enough support, but he had it and he made it through that space of time, and he will make it through this, which is why the sketch looks like this, which is why we have these waves. What is the truth? Trump, when you find out people on your team are not on your team, don't lose that grip on the truth and just understand that it's not easy, and that's why it hasn't been done before. But just be proud of yourself that you're doing this, because I know you're not doing it for you. I know you're doing it for the people. I know that. Remember that. So if stuff gets exposed, which is what's being said, and I believe that it's true, about people around you, it hurts because you're angelic consciousness. So that's really like a stab in your heart 3 times over. Do a mantra. Even though I can't believe it, I love and accept myself. Even though I can't believe it, I love and accept myself. The bad guys, oh yeah, I shouldn't say this because it's in the news right now. I know the person, and it's another example of you need to stop lying because everybody's going to know it. And this person had an incident happen during a news conference. Okay. Somebody, her name is Chrystia Friedland. I have no idea who she is. She was accusing Trump of being maple syrup MAGA. This is so funny. I do these purification events, and it came out for the third eye that a product that is so incredible for the third eye, it's sacred, is maple syrup. That came out last night. And it turns out that if you look it up on the internet, it is considered a sacred food. Did anybody know maple syrup was a sacred food? We put it on our pancakes. Pancakes are going to kill us with all the calories and the sugar. Maple syrup is a sacred food. And this woman, but for the third eye, remember, science found that there are eye cells in the forehead. And so they're saying, well, maybe humans, maybe they did have a third eye. Maybe the mythology is accurate. Yes, it is accurate. You should put some of those people and those mythological characters, you should put them on your SWAT team. SWAT team? Yeah. Because you see, the SWAT team from your local police is more liable to kill you than to take care of you. But you can have your spiritual SWAT team and go to mythology because those figures were real. And more information is coming out, such as, gee, maybe we had a third eye. Maybe we did have a third eye. Regardless, maple syrup for your third eye. It lubricates it. It turns out that the big issue with the third eye, it is too dry. Now, I did an executive coaching session with 5 people. 4 of them had a problem. 4 of them, what was holding them back in more sales was that they slept with their cell phones. It was years ago, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That's that direct link. You sleep with your cell phone, you sell less. But then my masters were good to me, and they said, ask them if they wake up really thirsty. And every single one of them said, oh my God, yeah, I have to have water next to my bed. It's terrible. I wake up, dry mouth. Dry mouth only happens to people in their 70s and 80s. Usually has to do with medication. These people were in their 30s and 40s and they already have dry mouth. And we wonder what's going on with people. Anyway, third eye needs more liquid, needs to be lubricated. Maple syrup's great. You can't possibly be sleeping with your cell phone. You cannot possibly be that dumb. I know somebody who sleeps with his head in the wall, and on the other side of the wall is where a mass of electrical wires are held there. I don't know what it is. It's like a center or something, right where his head is. Third eye, third eye is wisdom, by the way. It's being able to see everything, but apparently being able to see everything, you become wise. So no sleeping with a cell phone. Do not check what's in the wall. Another story. I don't care that I don't have permission to say this story because nobody's ever going to know who the person is. I got a call. The first place, I woke up. That was it. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I could see somebody that was suicidal. This was years ago. I called the family. I didn't call the person. I said, listen, I got this. Oh, they're doing wonderful. They just moved into a new apartment. Great. I said, do me a favor. Call them. Make sure that they're not suicidal. Okay, I'll get back to you. They got back to me. Well, he says, he's not very happy, but no. I said, okay, have him call me. So the person called me. I knew the person, a young person. I said, listen, I'm not going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You and I, we haven't spoken for 2 or 3 years. If I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, seeing that you're suicidal, listen to me. You are suicidal. What's going on? Well, we moved and yeah, it's a great place. So dinner. I said, okay, where's your bed? In the bedroom. I said, I know it's in the bedroom. Where is it located? A wall. Okay, what's behind that wall? Because I could already psychically, I got the info. I don't know. Find out, call me back. It turned out that the Wi Fi for the entire building ran through the wall right where his head was. And he had only moved there 3 months prior. And in 3 months, he just wanted to throw himself off the balcony. He admitted it to me at the end of the conversation. Well, you know what? It really was getting a little bit out of hand. My head, the stuff that was going on in my head. I said, well, what are you going to do? He said, well, I don't know. I said, how about if you move the bed? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to ask my wife about that. Reminds me of a person who paid me to go to her home because she had cancer. And in Europe, this was years ago, somebody told her that there was an electrical angle factor in her cancer. I'd like to meet that doctor because he was pretty good. And he didn't know what it was from, but there was an electrical angle. So she said, and I said, well, I can go to your house. You want me to do some consulting? Yeah, come. So I went to her house. She slept in a four-poster bed that was metal. Oh, what's that got to do with anything? Metal grounds electricity and it grounds microwave. And then I walked around the house. And in front of the house, there was a transformer. What bad luck. In the back of her house, there was a transformer. And they ground the energy, the dirty electricity, the electricity ground in her bed. But that's not the reason why I'm saying the story. Do not sleep in metal beds. Please. Don't have a headboard that's metal. Please. Because it is grounding the electricity in the microwave right where your head is. So she looks at me when I finish and we taped it. And she said, well, what am I supposed to do with this information? Listen, I wanted to slap her. I said, well, maybe. She said, I can't get rid of that bed. It was very expensive. I'm not getting rid of the bed. She's arguing with me. I said, you said there was an electrical factor because some really good doctor in Europe told you that. I'm telling you where it's from. She actually never spoke to me again. She thought I was a god awful human being. She did, I understand, end up sleeping on the floor. Oh my God. For a couple of months, and she did eventually get rid of the bed, but she got angry at me. That's pretty typical. Ask my family. They get angry at me all the time. I say something and they don't like it. Well, okay, so then you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. So maple syrup. for the third eye. Suicide is big now. So I'm talking about stuff I saw today on X. Some pilot in Canada says that the government is paying to do chemtrails on the rural places where the people didn't get the vaccine. And they're trying to get them to, he said, to provoke suicide. I think maybe you need to remember that I'm telling you that there's several times the galactic bad guys have thrown suicide viruses on the planet. There was one relatively recently, and that you can do a mantra 10, 15 times, it goes away. Even though I want to die, love and accept myself. Remember I told you the other day that happened to me, and I did the mantra, it didn't go away. And then I realized that they were sending me electronically the whole thing of wanting to die, suicide. So the whole suicide thing is chemtrails in Canada. I'm not sure that's in the chemtrails. I don't think it has to be. The bad guys can do it without having to do anything on the physical dimension. And the second thing, some of the bad guys that put the masks on their face and they go to protests, they left the protests and started to ask the people when they were leaving, have you thought about dying today? That was today. Both of those were pieces of news today. So I strongly suggest, especially if you have kids, and it doesn't matter if they're 2 or they're 5 or they're 14 or 18 or 60, that you do the mantra and say, God, this is for me and all the kids and my family and my wife. And you just do it. And every day you spend 5 minutes just doing, even though we want to die, I love and accept myself. Because this is very, very real. The whole energy of suicide. People aren't happy anyway. They're really not happy. I'm looking at my notes because I can't keep my head a little bit straight. Got some very interesting information. Guess who's paying to defend the illegals that are getting shipped out of the country and insisting that they have their time in court, which is the most, you know what? This is the only country where we would get away with something that dumb in defense of being good people. You're going to give 12 million, maybe 22 million, their due day in court when they entered illegally? It's not possible. And it doesn't make any sense. But guess who's defending them? ACLU. Oh, ACLU that wouldn't take my case having to do with mind control and didn't take anybody's case having to do with mind control, because ACLU is not here to defend freedom. They're here to defend the bad guys and establishments so people can keep getting all their big monies. So they are funded, and that, what did I say? Go after their funding. Who's funding them? It's not the little people. It's not the $5 and $10 donations. I can guarantee you. Who's funding them? Stop the funding and they won't be able to get the lawyers to defend these dingbats that another group of dingbats is saying they need their day in court. I didn't get my day in court. I didn't get my day in court. Why are you going to give them their day in court? Doesn't make any sense. We're doing too much that doesn't make sense. I'm glad that Trump is here. And you need to visualize him inside of an igloo of ice, because I said yesterday, in the chat yesterday, I said he's in a rage, something that he found out about people around him. I'm not sure that has come out yet. This is an intense week. Estella is reminding me of that again. This is a very intense week astrologically, which influences people's behavior. So we can see the craziness, which means I need to go and find a tree that I can sit under. Oh, I can't leave my house. I can't find a tree to sit under. I'll talk about me as often as I want to talk about me, being it that I can't talk to anybody. And this is not a paid news report. This is totally free. So no complaints if I talk about me. I had the most fascinating Pregunta la Francis session, which means Ask Francis. I do it every Wednesday at 2. Listen to this. Now, my psychic abilities have expanded dramatically. No more, please. I don't want to see more. So this woman asked me, how come I can't get any place financially? That's a good question. I answer that a lot. The answer was I saw gold, I saw yellow, like a river under her feet. I said, I see yellow, that's a color of emotions, it's under your feet, and you're in your room and you've got a clipboard in your hand, and I don't get it. She's a lawyer. I didn't know that at that point. So I went, okay, so where do you live? And I figured it must be like under her city, her town. Venezuela. Okay, where in Venezuela? Caracas. Okay, so let me check Caracas. So I check Caracas, which is the capital of Venezuela. There's this gold running under Caracas. And I went, what the heck is that? So I expanded my remote viewing. I saw the whole map of Venezuela. It is coming from south of Venezuela. Give me a second, because this is interesting, important, scary. I'm going to say that my psychic abilities are scary. I'm going to find it because I want you to see this. The stream of yellow, which is the stream of gold, is coming from this part of Venezuela all the way up to Caracas. So I went, okay, so I stepped back. What does that mean? This is where there's a lot of mining for gold. 2018, my movement, the Mantrista movement, it's not my movement. I started it, and there's thousands of people now. And how do you become a mantrita? You do mantras and prove to yourself that you can take care of a lot of stuff without needing anybody but you and your mind, because it was your mind that messed you up. So we got into Venezuela in 2018 because there was a big portal to hell in the south of Venezuela. And it was due to mining issues. They would, this, I don't think, God, that this happens today. But 100 years ago, whatever, in the mines, they would bring the people in to work the mines. But they would kill all the children, the people that were sick or didn't have the ability to work in the mines, or the old people that couldn't work in the mines because they didn't want to have to feed them. And they were mining for gold. And that created a portal to hell because of all the anguish of all the people, with their people being killed and having to work there. So we closed that portal, and it was a lot of work. And then this is a map from April 7th, 2025. And this is Venezuela looking great. But here, there is a debility. It's debility. It's weak due to abuse and greed. This was April. God, this was 2 weeks ago. April, May, yeah, just 2 weeks ago. And there were two places the next week or 2 weeks after that where there was movement of not good energy. And when I did the chat, the people said to me, "Oh, they're doing military exercises there." Military exercises? I'm sure they were. Anyway, the two places were the one next to Colombia, where there were problems with Colombia, and the other place was right there. And today, it turns out that we have, it'll stop. Today, it turns out that there is a river of gold going from there to Caracas, which is where the people would be making all the money. All the rich people are in Caracas. It turned out that the girl was a lawyer, and I asked, it was very interesting. I did not ask her what kind of law she used to practice, but apparently, this is the whole thing with interpretation. I can be a great psychic, you can be a great psychic, but then you have to interpret what you're seeing. So when I first saw it, I thought it was just yellow emotions, but why was it underneath her feet? It wasn't even part of her. It was gold. And thank God I widened the lens and went there. Okay, so why am I even saying this? Because I want you to know how good I am. Yeah, it's all about me again. No, I'm trying to prove something to you. I'm trying to say something to you. I'm trying to educate you. I'm trying to get you to understand you have a third eye. Science found eye cells in your blankety blank forehead. What are you doing about it? Well, one of the things you are doing about it is you're listening to my chats. I have the superpower of induction. When you're in my presence, your abilities augment, especially your psychic abilities. So this is good, but you're not doing that for that reason. You want political gossip. Okay, I had mentioned before that I thought, how many days ago was it? It was not that many days ago that I said, there's something going on with Venezuela. If you saw my chats, well, I don't think I drew anything. I think I said it. No, I don't have anything drawn here. I said, there's something going on with Venezuela. Somebody's trying to set Trump up to invade Venezuela or to do something. But those are not Venezuelans that are doing that. Those are the regular gang that want to come in because of that goal, because they already know about it. I just found out about it today during a chat because that appears to be part of the future of this person that was asking me a question. Okay, okay, so hey, Francis is really good. No, that's not the point. The point is that if Trump lets people lead him into having trouble with Venezuela, he's not going to be supported by the energies of this cycle because it will all be a lie. It will all be a lie. Somebody here wants to have a stronger hand in Venezuela because they already know this that I just found out today. I had already said this several months ago in a chat that there would be several new minerals that would be discovered in Venezuela and that it would be very important that the Venezuelan people all benefit from it. I'm not talking about the mine then distributing 1% to each person in Venezuela. I'm talking about Venezuelans benefiting from their country's minerals and resources. That it not be foreign powers that come in with whatever an excuse. So again, Trump, instinctively, I think they're trying to set you up to go into Venezuela because they want to do big business. But you're going to lose this sacred energy that you have of truth and of the United States is not going to instigate more violence anyplace. And for that, you still have to continue to ferret out inside your team or too close to your team the people that still want to play the old way, but they're not going to be supported. The only reason I'm still alive is because of revelations. The only reason is because of revelations. If I start to lie, I lose my grip on my life. No can do. I mean, I'm not saying that I can't say a lie here. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're in tune with what is going on and is supported by the planet, who decides that? God? Who knows? I don't know. But it is not a new concept. It's not a new concept. It's in the Bible, it's Revelations. So I'm not saying I don't know what should be done with Venezuela, other than nothing. Why don't we let Venezuelans decide? And you should look up something called the Bay of Piglets. I'm going to write it down here. Piglets, which takes me back to where it is that I met my control, and not my handler. My handler didn't come in until 20, 30 years later. Bay of Piglets was a group of people from here, military, that were going to do something in Venezuela. They got caught, dumber than a rock, all of them. And they called that incident the Bay of Piglets rather than the Bay of Pigs, which was also not successful. So I would think that because of another planetary law, which is patterns repeat, don't try anything with Venezuela. Because it already happened, and the hand of American military was exposed in the Bay of Piglets. They made fun of it. Ugh. Okay. How are you doing with revelations? Are you still living a lie? Are you in a marriage, in a relationship, in a job, in a country, in a city, in a house that you hate? It's not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for you. Lies are not sustained anymore. Everything is out there. You may not get taken down, you may take yourself down. Like a lot of people, they just can't take it anymore. They can't take it anymore. The only problem is that too many people that haven't made the changes because they are cowards, okay, in my opinion. Even if it's your children you think you're defending, you're still a coward. You're not willing to live the truth. But it's going to come out anyway. And again, what I almost lost my train of thought. Too many people get out of the situation that they don't have the guts to get out of by becoming sick and dying. Don't do that. What a terrible way to end your life. What kind of a legacy are you leaving your children, your family, and your friends? It is not elegant today to die of a disease because other parts of the world, they don't die of those diseases. And with the information the Mantrista movement is bringing to the table, you don't have to die of your disease. If you can, if you want. Interesting. I'm finished. Was this all about me again? Maybe. Don't sign up. Don't come back for the political gossip because it's coming through me. Therefore, I'm important. Okay. We're going to do the mantra again for stabilizing the United States, just to help. It's this country. I mean, I'm not sure that you're aware, but this country was bankrupt. So, and that would take everybody down, except of course the people that got the millions and the trillion. I don't even know this whole thing about trillions. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the same mantra we did yesterday. We're going to do the same one as yesterday. I'm going to go back to me again. Okay? Let me finish writing this. See if I can have just like one spelling error. No, probably more. I was going back to me. Why was I going back to me? I don't even remember. Oh, let's go back to my handler. I don't think that anybody in the judicial system in Florida should be trusted because of mind control issues. The fact that I am who I am, that my control was who he was, which you guys don't know yet and may never know, that would be a good thing. The fact that Adam Schiff was after me in the other dimensions, okay? And he's the guy in Congress that everybody says he's untouchable. He and my handler were competing for controlling me. Okay. The fact that my handler is still loose is a huge issue. The fact that Adam Schiff is still loose is a huge issue. And yes, I understand that somebody has a plan to take the bad guys down systematically. But Trump, you need to pay attention. Sometimes we need to do this the right way is really a way of covering things. There is no way that these two people should be loose while you're doing this. And if whoever's telling you, just let them keep hanging out and we'll follow them, you need to double check that. The longer these kinds of people are loose, and these two in particular, the less safe we all are. You need to look at whoever is whispering in your ear. In the first place, they're not taking care of people like me. Why aren't they taking care of people like me? So you want to get a bigger group of people? Well, that's exactly how we all ended up here. The guys at the top, the guys that are more powerful, those are the ones we're going to focus on, and the people at the bottom, we'll take care of them when we get to them. The fact that my handler is still loose is a problem. But it's not just my problem. It's a problem of everybody that was blackmailed by him in Miami. And I think one day you should find out where he lives, very easy, and you should draw a circle around his home. I'm really bad with measurements. When you're so much in the other dimension, time and measurements are really not so easy because there is no time and measurements in the other dimension. But if you take his map and go out maybe like a mile and a half, you do a circle, and then you start to zone in on the people that live in that mile and a half. You're going to find a lot of people that he controlled, that this government paid him monthly stipends to be the handler of all of those people. And he got them all to move close to him because he was getting older. And he separated from his wife. Well, but did he separate from his wife because he tried to give her a favor so that when he goes down, because he knew he was going down, he knows he's going down, that she would be like, oh my God. Well, no, oh my God, because she would drive around Miami and Coral Gables with the radionics machines radiating all the people that he wanted to keep brain dead so he could continue to control them. I, by the way, told the mayor of the city of Coral Gables this. Did he do anything? I don't know. Why don't you check that out? I also gave him an address 1 block away from Coral Gables that was full of these psychotronic weapons. Did he do anything about that? I don't know. Why don't you ask him about that? But do not send anybody who's part of the establishment in Florida. Do not trust the Southern Command Center because my handler has an intimate relationship with several people there. I am not being critical. I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my kids and my grandkids' future. You need to clean up this area. And there cannot be any, I think it's almost impossible for somebody to reach a high level in the judicial system in Dade County and South Florida that they're not blackmailed. Look at the people that handled all the Epstein stuff. South Florida, judicial system, shining stars. By the way, mind control victims are really, really, really bright. Really, really bright. They did that on purpose. When I was presented to Kennedy, I said, no, she said, started with an IQ of, I don't know the numbers. And we took her to 200 and some. Well, that doesn't exist, 200 and some. Yes, it does exist. If you do enough to a human mind, it does exist. So mind control victims are very bright. And that doesn't mean that they're bad people. How blackmailed are they? So don't mess around with people that can still be in danger because this is not cleaned up yet. It's not their fault. Pay attention. This is not just a detail. This is the whole, what do you call it? The program, the play program, when they do the plays for football. I don't know, remember what it's called. It's not the playlist. Okay, let's do the mantra. And when I put as the title sex issues again, the whole sex thing, the whole orgasm thing. Do you know how many copies I've sold of my book? I think I've sold less than 20. Do you know what I've advertised more than I've ever advertised anything? That goddamn book. Sex. We have to figure this out. It's on Amazon. It's on. You're not interested. But you know why you're not interested? Because the ETs, the ones that are ultimately, those are our enemies, they go like this. Whoop, population collapse. Walking to the edge of a cliff and walking off of it, no problem. Because you're asleep. Let's do the mantra. We're only politically. We are in a process of waking up. It was supposed to be messy. It's messy. I'm sitting here complaining, but I have every reason to complain. Okay? And this is not just about complaining. Hopefully, I'm sharing enough interesting information that you feel stimulated. Oh, yeah, but she says some interesting stuff. Yeah, she does. It costs a lot. Let's do it. Let's do this. 7 minutes. Facebook. One of the followers said that they tried to buy it on Amazon and they said they couldn't. It's okay if you go to my store and you click my store link, it says no store. And then 3 seconds later, it takes you to the store. So we're getting hit from every different angle in terms of our reach to the public. My sarcasm, my anger, my crankiness, my finger pointing is my form of having a tantrum. And the only reason I'm on camera is because I have information almost every day that I think that can help, having to do with giving some clarity. Now, if only 7 people see my chats, I'm not getting anywhere real quick. But it's interesting. Facebook on the inside says I have 85,000 new followers in 1 month, but I only have 84,000 followers. All the other numbers are correct. Maybe that number's correct too, but I will never know that. And if you go to my YouTube page and you look at my English chats, actually the Spanish also, but mainly this one, you'll see the likes go up a lot and then, but nobody saw it. And yet they're liking it. And then after several times, the likes will go down. The number of likes will go down. They're not afraid of lawsuits. They're not. They actually have somebody assigned to my chats because I can see the person and she's sitting there and she's manipulating stuff. Anyway, continuing to talk about myself. Isn't that something? I'm a Cancer. We can be very whiny. Yeah, you can really almost not find my book on Amazon. It's like you get a little prize at the end when you actually get to the page where you can buy a book from me. Okay, so there you have it from my store and you can get it directly. Oh dear. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe.